would you say is your fanfiction trait that could make you seem like a one-trick pony? Whether you mainly write one ship, alternate universe, write from a specific character's point of view a lot, basically what you default to, I guess. I am fully guilty of writing mainly Connor Murphy from Dear Evan Hansen ships, specifically Melfi and Congel, and I mainly write from Connor's perspective. I just find writing him kind of fun. Anyways, do you have things like this? Credit to Reddit user illclerk7066 for starting this thread on the fanfiction subreddit. And let's go read some answers. Ugh, I'm in this post and I don't like it. I write the same damned story every time. Guy meets guy, they fall in love, something keeps them apart, they finally overcome and get together, happy ending. I appreciate that I have a small following of folks who like this sort of story, but I wish I could branch out. Same two ships too. Me not writing another characters searching for a missing person draft challenge. Impossible. People die a lot in my fics. Is that a one-trick pony? So many of my fics start with someone almost dying. It's a trend. On 2 separate occasions, I have come up with elaborate, in-universe, and decently canon-compliant justifications for giving characters dog ears and a fluffy tail. Separate universes, and entirely separate reasoning, so I think it's my cross to bear now. My general writing style. I write extremely slow-moving, slice-of-life stuff. Yes, this is me too. I always feel kinda guilty that I'm dragging things out. It wouldn't be a fic written by me if it didn't have at least one description of nature that takes 2 or more paragraphs. Yep, I read way too much Jack London and Jim Chelgard growing up, and it shows. My stories go into excruciatingly explicit detail about the pros and cons of every decision every character has to make. But little to no detail about what any of the locations look like that everything's happening in. Everything I write turns into a weird mystery involving a dark secret. The story is oriented around one major revelation, usually a secret identity. I eat that stuff up, and it definitely reflects on my works. Childhood Friends to Lovers is my ultimate jam, and I've written it like a bajillion times. And I'm pretty sure every single fic of mine is tagged with overuse of italics. Angst and more angst. What little thing could go differently in canon to make things just a bit worse? My one trick is trauma processing through writing, but luckily I've got all kinds of trauma. And all my stories so far take place within the span of a week or less. I don't have it in me to write long, elaborate story arcs. TARDIS is writing a long fic again, now taking bets on when a character will have a panic attack. That juicy outsider POV. Real world x fictional world fanfics, usually just following along the plot with an original character making snide remarks on the side. I'm overly enamored with self-insert/self-insert original characters. Every main character has to have meta-knowledge or come from the outside, or I'm unable to place myself in their shoes and push the story forward. Brooding introspection with minimal plot. Same. Also episode tags. Boy, do I seem to love my episode tag fics. Judging by my notes, daddy issues, or power fantasy. I feel like in cases where I write the Sheath ship from Voltron, Shiro's always the one simping the hardest. It could be Dark Dead Dove or Vanilla AF, and that is the one constant there. I write exclusively 2 characters, focusing on their abusive friendship, and it's all horror angst whump shit. I do not seem like a one-trick pony. I am a one-trick pony, and I'm proud of it. At the moment, I've been writing almost exclusively pregnancy and kid fics. I've always loved writing fluff, romance, and slice of life, So when I started taking an interest in the aforementioned, it checked all the boxes. The only thing is, I feel like I'm running out of ideas. Fluff and happy endings. Oh, and mature relationships and healthy communication, which all go hand in hand, I suppose. It's what I enjoy reading, too. Oh, also, I seem to be suffering from Munchausen syndrome by proxy. Nearly every multi-chaptered fic I've written has at least one scene where a character has to vomit, so I guess I have a thing for making my characters sick only to comfort them later. Whump is my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm a hurt comfort extraordinaire. Angst enthusiast. Nothing else. So I'm absolutely a one-trick pony in that sense. Literally, I cannot write anything that isn't a hurt comfort one-shot. Character A gets hurt, sick, or scared, and character B gives them a hug. I've never written anything else. It seems like someone is always getting attacked or hurt in my fics, and usually needs to go to a hospital. I like that whole, the person I love is hurt, I must be there for them thing. And the majority of my stories have an original character love interest for the character from the fandom. I have written a Hanahaki disease AU for every single ship I can think of, that I like enough to write about. You could scroll through my AO3 page and you'd see like 2 out of 32 fics are not related to Hanahaki. It's an obsession. I write way too many touch-starved fanfics. Strong women. It isn't a story unless there's a woman who not even the best fighter in our world would be able to fight. As a certain guy says,
I love the kind of woman that can kick my ass.
Damsels in distress and the white knight bullshit for me. I think I have a weakness for cool fight scenes, quite possibly to the point where some of them may be unnecessary, but I put them in anyway because I thought of a cool way for the fight to go. It's either awkward fluffy one-shot, or adventure where the main ship saves the world. There will also usually be a chapter involving looking at the stars at night, either for introspection or a meaningful conversation. One or more chapters, possibly even the whole story, will begin on either the weather or someone waking up, because fuck the rule that says you shouldn't do that. Oh, and there will be a lot of nodding and exchanging glances, and I mean a lot. It's not me if at the end of dialogue it doesn't repeatedly say, insert character says, said, asks, inquires, or comments. I'm too lazy to find synonyms. I have to stop writing the Rise of Skywalker alternate stories that logically end with a Stormtrooper rebellion. They're freaking exhausting to write for one thing, and now I've written it 3 times. Edit. 4. Character A and Character B love each other, but Character A's noble family, the best fandom blind explanation, disapproves because Character B isn't from a special bloodline. Either Character A or B express doubts on whether their forbidden relationship will work, or one of them attempts to break things off. Angst ensues, maybe smut or making out. Character A and B realize their love is worth pursuing despite the obstacles. Comic relief protagonist. I just can't help but write the main character, either by making an OC or picking an existing character that fits, to be an absolute goofy meme lord. The main character will always throw out sassy remarks, get themselves into difficult situations through the most stupid means imaginable, and escape them just by a hair. I can't not be silly. Isekai in combination with plenty of redemption arcs. What can I say? They are my favorite stories to write, and nothing is going to change that. Mutual pining, slow burn fic is my go-to. I don't know why, but it's just what I go to first, and it's what I'm good at, I think. I also tend to do a lot of music in my fic, also cooking as a bonding or comfort thing. My writing is also poetic, I guess? I've been told it's very gothic, but I also like my funny little mental monologues or metaphors, depending on the tone. It's all Omegaverse, baby. Angst. 99.9% of my work is angst. Everything I've posted is nothing but angst, and the ones that didn't see the light of day are still angst. Let me write my slow-paced, introspective nonsense that even I gloss over when trying to proofread it myself. My villains tend to get some massive wins. Either they win temporarily for a period of time, or they win altogether. I like extremely dysfunctional families, characters suffering from hubris, corruption arcs, and toying with the line between romantic and platonic. If a fic appears to be written by me, yet contains none of that, it must be the doing of a vile doppelganger who somehow managed to assume my persona. Found family. There's always found family. And in almost all my fics, at least one character ends up adopted by another. That's just how it goes. Most of my stories boil down to a disabled character finding a new family after being mistreated. I even got a review once saying my stories were boring because they were about the same thing. Modern AU. I have a tendency to write modern AUs. So often, so often. Ah, superpowers AU. I write so many coming out stories. Several things. I prefer writing either from non-human points of view or about someone who forms some kind of relationship with a non-human. Usually platonic, but one of my human-alien pairs will become a couple eventually. And I focus a lot on spirituality, warfare and its aftermath, lots of soldiers and affiliated individuals, and trauma in general. Also, as someone else mentioned, lots of nature descriptions. Setting is sometimes a character in its own right. Older, troubled villain adopts a younger, troubled hero. Preferably a severely traumatized younger hero, and the villain is far from parental material, being legitimately a horrible person. Bonus points for hyper-independence mixed with abandonment issues for the hero. Bonus points if at one point the villain decides to get rid of the hero for one reason or another, via pushing them away, giving them to someone else, kicking them out, or straight up attempting to execute them, leading to the hero being deeply hurt, their trust shattering, and their issues flaring up. Bonus points for a lengthy process after the villain realizes that it was a bad idea and tries to win back their trust. It might be a bit specific. Fortunately, I keep most of the stories that follow that pattern in my drafts for now. I only write for one ship, AU canon divergence, always enemies to lovers because of canon, and always a happy ending. They end up together almost at the very end, and the first half of a fic is pure subtext or obliviousness. I write sick fics that are on the darker side, more specifically injury recovery with lots of angst and whump, and I tend to write basically variations of the same type of injury. Wumpy/caretaker ships are always MLM, though the slash is mostly on the milder side. Once in a while I'll switch fandoms or characters or write original work, but the rest stays very similar. I am a one-trick pony, and the very first to admit it. Nearly all of my 20 fics are about the same ship, so this pony is hard to train beyond the one trick. Starting a fic, then forgetting about it, 'cause ADD brain. Big thank you to my Patreon members, my little ruse, Nebulatic Vexen, Donka42, I Am a Noodle, John Huang, Laser Scorpio, Night Avenger, Mintara, Somnophobic Danny, Savage Otters, Valsy, Terabyte AIX, Kestrel, Dragonborn Canid, and Angie Ender. Thank you so much for your extra support on Patreon. It means the world to me. Hope you guys are doing well. Remember, you can do monthly audio requests from me if you want a personal recording. Just let me know. And once again, I hope you guys are doing well. And the same goes to my YouTube channel members, my mini ruse, Taylor Thompson, Foxstar Killer, and This Person 10. Thank you so much for your extra support. I'm so glad to have you be part of my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Keep on being your best selves. And I send all my best wishes your way. And thank you to everyone else for watching. Let me know if you have a thing like this, a recurring theme in your stories that makes you a bit of a one-trick pony with writing. I think the things that tend to recur in my stories are just revelations of my deepest inner insecurities. So let me know if you think yours are some indicator of your deepest self, or there's something totally different. Is it just something silly you do all the time? I love silly stuff. So let me know. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one, and until then, have a great day and a great night. Sweet dreams. Sweet life. There's some poetry for you. Goodbye.